Should you only hit off of the tee? Well, this is a great question, and I highly recommend that you do hit off of the tee. However, I believe there are 4 mediums through which we can learn hitting, and today we're going to talk about the pros and cons of each of them and how much time you should be spending doing each. So first of all, off the tee. When we're hitting off the tee, it's the best time for us to work on our mechanics. So if you have a swing adjustment you're trying to make, now's the best time to do it off of the tee. The ball's not moving, the stakes are low, that's great. Another pro to hitting off of the tee is that you don't need anyone's help to do it. You can come in here by yourself, as I am right now, and you can just get your work in. Now, the cons with the tee are that we don't get to work on our rhythm and timing. When you see the ball coming at you, a lot of things change in our swing. And so you're not gonna get those game-like reps. You can have a perfect swing off of the tee, and that does not mean that you're gonna hit in the game. Next up, we got front toss or side toss. So this is when a coach is behind an L screen and tossing to you from the front. Now, the pros to front toss are that we get to work in a little bit of our rhythm and timing. The ball starts to be moving now, so it's a little bit harder to work on our mechanics off of front toss than it is to work off of the tee. However, we get to work our rhythm and timing in. Now, the cons to front toss obviously is that you need help from another person in order to do that. That's where tee has the advantage in that you can do it by yourself, but with front toss, we get to work in some rhythm. So for me personally, I like to spend more time on the tee than front toss. I can work on my mechanics here, but I do like to take some front toss swings before going to live so that off of front toss I can get working on my rhythm and timing. It's like a step up from the tee to get me ready for live pitching. Next up, we got hitting off of a machine. Now, obviously a major con to hitting off the machine is that you need access to a facility that has a machine, or you need to own a machine, and not everyone has access to that kind of thing. But if you can hit off of a machine, here are some of the pros and cons to hitting off of it. First of all, a major pro is that it can replicate game-like pitches. So if you struggle hitting the curveball, you can work off hitting a curveball off of a machine, and it's gonna be very realistic to this type of spin rate and spin axis that a real-life pitcher would throw. So machines are awesome for replicating pitches that maybe we struggle to hit in the game so we can work on them. Now, here's my problem with machines. When you hit off of machines, the timing changes a lot. For me at least, when I'm hitting off a machine, it's very hard for me to do my toe tap and make solid contact. That's because when they put the ball in the machine, it changes just a little bit every time. So for me, when I'm hitting off of a machine, a lot of times I like to work from a post stride right here. I get my stride and I sit here waiting for the ball. I do a little rock and then swing. One way or another, hitting off a machine will develop hand-eye coordination. It will teach you about pitch shapes, and as you get up to the higher levels, the more you're gonna wanna hit off of the machine. However, the one thing I think that machines leave out is being able to see ball flight. Here's what I mean. When we hit in a usually when we hit off of a machine, it's in the cage. And when we hit in the cage, we cannot see the trajectory of the ball. So sometimes you'll hit the ball with the right launch angle and the right exit velocity, and you're like, wow, that ball is going to be a home run. But the truth is that ball might be top spinning instead of back spinning. And as a result, it'll be like a line out to right field instead of a home run over the right field fence. So that's another thing, again, with hitting in a cage. You can't see trajectory and ball flight, and it's possible that you can get away with some swing mechanic errors like poor bat path. You can get away with that a little bit more when you're hitting in the cage. When you get onto a field, it will expose you a little bit more. And that brings us to the 4th type of training that we can do at the plate, and that is live pitching on a field. This is what I recommend you spend the most time on. So, you know, work on your tee, work on your front toss, work on your machine, but those are all specialized things. You work off of the tee to fix your mechanics in an isolated scenario. You work off of front toss to get a little bit of rhythm and timing, but with low stakes. You hit off of a machine to learn to hit off of pitches that you normally struggle with. Learn how to hit off of the high spin rate fastball. Learn how to hit off of the sharp breaking ball. When we go hit on the field, that's when we put it all together. This is when I recommend we get our feel-good reps. So you're hitting off of a live arm, your timing is realistic like it would be in the game, and then when you hit the ball, you get to see a realistic ball flight, and you get to see whether your ball is back spinning or whether your ball is top spinning. So those are the 4 different ways that we can train as a hitter, and those are the breakdowns for how we should use each one. I recommend that you use every single one of them. All 4 of those I recommend that you use, but you got to know which medium is best for what. I'm Coach RAC with Headbangers Sports. We'll see you guys next week.